So, hi everybody. Welcome to another episode of Child. Um, little weather update here in the South in the United States. I don't know why I'm saying the United States. I think because I was just watching a bunch of British stuff. Like it's snowing. Like it's snowing crazy. I think it's snowing more now, and I'm at a friend's house, and like the pipes are frozen, and I talk about turning the power off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is kind of crazy. But shout out to Texas because I think they've kind of got it the worst. But it's very beautiful. I kind of want to go outside. I think I might go outside later because it's still like snowing down, and it's not like I don't think there's ice on the ground, but it's like walkable. So I might go walk outside later after getting up or whatever. Oop, is that a tear? Oh my god, talk about a tear. So I'm like looking at my windshield, and it's like a giant ass crack in the windshield. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I think this weather did that. I think the snow put a giant ass crack in my windshield. And I'm kind of sad because now I have to go get that fixed. Because it's not cool. It was already a mini crack. Now it was like yesterday I saw it and it was, ooh, it's pretty big. But the snow is so beautiful. Yesterday the sun was out. Today the sun isn't really out, and it's already 11 o'clock. The sun was out yesterday, and it was like shining, 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 shining. Yeah, it was like really beautiful. Um, it snowed here last month, but that was like a 24-hour situation, and so it's been snowing. This is the third. Well, I don't think it snowed yesterday, but it's snowing now. Like the snow stayed on the ground yesterday. So I think by Friday we'll be cool. Back to our scheduled programming. Early Saturday. I was about to say like work. Yeah, haven't been at work. Thank God. Because I'm just like, it's really nothing to do. Even though like some stores are open. I was surprised some stores are open. I saw Wendy's open. I saw Sonic. I think Sonic was open. And then Subway looked like they were open. And that's pretty much it. um, but yeah, let's talk some crazy music news. A couple of updates, which I'm really excited about. Okay, so last week we started with Joss Stone and Kelly Rowland. Let's start with Joss Stone and Kelly Rowland again because they actually have some news. So Joss Stone was on the UK version of The Masked Singer. I guess she made it to the end because it said 7 weeks, and then like her little like video intros. Um, she said, what did she say? She said, since we're at the end now, or whatever. So I guess she made it to like the end, which I'm like, oh wow, is that incredible or is that bad? Because I feel like they need to figure out who you are in order for you to win. I don't think she won the Masked Singer. That's not a headline I've seen. I don't think she. I don't think she said that either. So yeah, but her singing on it, she sung, and I'm not telling you I'm not going. She sung a Lizzo song. She sung a couple contemporary songs, like recent songs, and I'm just like, I know she's pregnant, but she didn't sound too good. Like she sounded like one range. She didn't have much of a range. I don't know if her range, if it was the baby or, you know, she smoked cigarettes. I'm not saying she smoked while she's pregnant, but she smoked cigarettes. But I didn't appreciate her range, and like she kind of sang these. I'm okay, maybe it's just the baby, because she was singing these like slower songs. I'm just like, can we speed it up? And even like this, the slower songs she was singing. I mean, the sort of faster songs, she was singing a little bit slower. So okay, we'll check it up to the baby. But she was on the Masked Singer, and one of the girls who was it, Rita Ora, she was like, "Is that Leona Lewis?" And I'm like, "What the hell? You don't know what Leona Lewis sounds like? Why are you asking? Why are you even mentioning that?" Oh Lord, Rita Ora, as Rob Kardashian called her. Okay, okay, and then her clues, I don't. A Stone fan for over 10 years. Okay, 15 years ish. Um, her clues kind of didn't make sense to who she is. Like her clues were kind of, I don't know where she got those clues from. The only clue that I think really was like really self-reflective was the she said, "I'm plant-based," and I'm like, yeah, she's plant-based. And I was trying to, because she has this like cooking show on Facebook, and she made some kind of like silly sausage, because she was the sausage on the Masked Singer, and so she was like celebrating her being on the Masked Singer by cooking this sausage thing. I don't know what that really was, but I was trying to see what kind of sausage she was using, because I'm like, I know you don't eat meat, but okay, that means everybody else around you has to be a vegetarian. Or I think she was a vegetarian at first, and then now I think she's plant based. But yeah, so Joss Stone was on The Masked Singer. Congratulations. So then Kelly Rowland, her album K, is it KK? It might be just be K. Her album comes out, her quote unquote album. I think it's an EP, and I think there's a difference from an EP and an album. But she's calling it an album, and that comes out this Friday. So we have a couple of days, we have a couple of days until that happens. Um, and I think it was like 3 or 4 more songs on there that um that she did, because I believe it was, I know Hitman was on there. It was already 3 songs that were available on like the Spotify pre-save list. So I think it was like 3 or 4 other songs. I think another song called Flowers, that might be the one she was being reflective and dedicated to her mom who passed away, Miss Doris. And then there was, I know there was Hitman. I know there was, I'm forgetting the other names. I meant to look at it, but it's okay. We'll see how it is. I was surprised that it was only going to be a couple of new songs. I thought we were going to get like a little bit more, but whatever. I mean, you've been postponing this album for like at least 3 years now, and this is what we get. But like, I feel like that's a lot. A lot of singers are kind of doing that, and I kind of don't like it. But it's like Tony Braxton, when Tony released Sex and Cigarettes, I think she released 2. Yeah, she released 3 songs before the whole album came out. So that left us with like 6 more songs, or like 5 more songs to listen to. And I was just like, damn. But then, like, once I listened to a couple of, I didn't like 3 or 4 songs. No, there's like 2 or 3 songs I don't like on that album. And I was just, but the rest of the album was amazing. And I'm like, damn, this is all we get. So that's how I kind of feel about Kelly. Damn, this is all we get. But we'll see. I'll listen to it, and we could talk about it next week. So then Carrie Underwood. You know, I'm a Carrie Underwood fan, and I've been telling you, I told you a couple of weeks ago, she has this gospel album coming out, and here we go. So the gospel album comes out next month, I think, sort of. I don't remember. I didn't really look at a date, but it comes out next month. The thing I like about country, okay, we'll talk about a little bit more country. Okay, we'll talk about country music after this one. So the thing I like about Carrie Underwood recently, like, she'll tell you her album's coming out and it's coming out like in 2 months or it's coming out next month or something like that. The release date is quicker. The release date is in a good amount of time within the announcement, which I love. I don't like this like my album's coming. My album's coming. It's March and my album's coming out in December. Like, okay, nobody cares. Just release the album and then you release like two songs before then, and it's a five album. It's a five track album. Nobody cares about that. Give us music in a good amount of time within the announcement, and that's what I like about Carrie. I think Cry Pretty did. She kind of did the same thing. It wasn't too long, and then also this last her Christmas album came out in a good amount of time. Also, a reasonable amount of time. But so she gave us a snippet, or not a snippet. She gave us a song from the the gospel album, Christian album. I feel like white people would say Christian album, but she might have called it a gospel album. And she did Softly and Tenderly. I've never heard of that song. It's okay. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to really say. It's just it sounded sort of like an album filler. But it's a gospel album, and I don't think it's any new album. I mean, new material that she's made. I think she was like, I want to do songs that I grew up listening to, and good old hymns that we love and know. So I think that's what the point of the album is. Um, but it comes out in March, so we'll hold out and listen to. I'll listen to it definitely. But I feel like she's not gonna give us, no wailing and singing, no Clark sisters vocals. So I'm hesitantly waiting and listening. We'll wait and listen to it. But she does do a song with CC Winans, who is a gospel giant in the industry. Um, One of my favorite songs off of Patty's gospel album is with CC. It's what is it called? It's called something, whatever. But like the three females on gospel, or was the fourth one? But the three trilogy for me on Patty's gospel album is the one with CeCe Winans, the one with Yolanda Adams, and the one with Winona Judd. Killing it, killed it. The harmonies, the lyrics, the music, really good, really, really, really good. So CeCe's doing a song with Carrie, so we'll see how that turns out. Okay, on to a little bit more country music. So country music supports. That's what I've really learned throughout these years, watching, the festivals and the sort of how easy and simple their music goes up on the charts. Country music support. So this dude Wallen, Morgan Wallen, a couple of weeks ago. Okay, wait. I should never wrote that down. That's not funny. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, there's this video of him, and I just watched it because I watched it on like Wendy, and I wasn't really sure what was going on. I couldn't really understand what he was saying, so I watched it on Wendy, and she was like, I mean, the video of him it shows he was like, I don't know who he was talking to or really talking about, because I didn't see a black person in the video. All I really saw, I think it was another dude walking, and then him, and then his girl, or whoever that girl was. and they were like walking like into the house, and he was like, "Take care of this pussy ass bitch," and then he said, "Take care of this pussy ass." No, 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 no. And I was just like, okay. So I did I did some prehistoric story. I was looking what was going on because I was going to talk about this a while ago, but I didn't. But now I saw like Billboard posted that his album is the number one album still. This is the fourth, or total 5 weeks, but I think this is the fourth week because I saw it debuted at number one, and this week made it his fifth total week at number one. And I believe he sold over 100,000 copies, over 200. Okay, I'm forgetting now. It might be 200,000 copies he sold, but definitely over 100,000 copies. So yeah, it might be like, I think it was like 215 he sold, and I'm just like, wow, country music really supports. Now his last album went platinum already. He's from The Voice. You don't ever hear about. You don't ever hear about The Voice, and now here we go. I think he was on like Usher's team, it said, and then either he was on Usher's team or he was on Adams, and then he flipped or something like that. But my thing is, he's 27. He's 27. I'm 26. Oh wow. Like, where does this like rhetoric like? I know better. I know not what to say and what not to say. I may not like get the sometimes the nationality terminology is incorrect with certain ethnicities because it is a little confusing. But I know not to say any like derogatory shit, at least out loud. I know not to say it out loud to somebody, and it's like the audio of the video looks far away, but the audio sounds like we're like really up close, and I'm like, you're 27. You're not like 67. Not even 67. You're not even like 87. I, what do you think that's okay to say in public? I don't know. I'm just like, we're from like the same generation. Like, sure, we're from different, we probably yeah, sure, we grew up in different parts of the country, but it's very confusing how this like this younger generation, my generation, they like are still saying words like that. Not necessarily saying that they are racist or whatever, but to like keep that language alive is very confusing. I don't get it. And he didn't say A, he said the ER. What? It's very confusing. I don't get it. But he was dropped by his. Well, it wasn't technically dropped, but the label said that he was suspended indefinitely. His record label, his recording contract was suspended indefinitely, and um, yeah, and the country music radio doesn't play his music at all. So I'm like, this dude kind of seemed like he was a big deal. His album went platinum, even though it debuted at top 10 on number 10 on the Billboard. I didn't look up the single. I didn't look up the singles chartings. Um, but yeah, country music. Like I said, country music supports whether you've done bad or whatever. So I'm like, he clearly was like a heavy hitter coming through. Um, Coming through in the country radio, country scene, country music scene. Shout out to country music. Y'all do support. Okay, so last week we talked about Mariah Carey and her MC30. I'll give you the update. I didn't want to talk about the We Belong Together. So, okay, last week we didn't get the Memoirs album. We didn't get anything. We didn't get the Angel's Advocate. Okay, and I sounded so dumb saying, I don't know what Angel's Advocate means. I'm really confused. So, like, I looked it up and I was like, oh, this is what it means. The Devil's Advocate. Okay, but she's the Angel's Advocate. Got it. Um, I did feel dumb after reading that. Oh, wow. Okay, so we did get the Angel's Advocate. We don't know if we're gonna get it. I've been seeing like the Lambs. I've been seeing them say maybe she'll end it. She'll end MC30 with Angel's Advocate. Hopefully, we do get it. I really do love that album. Like I said, I didn't know about it until a couple of years ago. Like I think I said it, but I don't know if I said it. Like I had heard the Hate You remix because it's like this. I thought it was like a ghetto remix, one of those people under underground people put together remixes all the time and stuff. So I thought that was that. I didn't know it was an actual remix for an actual album. But I really do love that Hate You remix because it's like a mashup of something else that was popular at the time. But it's really good. She has like new vocals. She's really singing. I really do love that song. But we didn't get anything. So hopefully this week. So like okay, so for Valentine's Day last Friday, she did a sort of remix retake on it was like mostly vocals on We Belong Together for Valentine's Day. She did it on the Kelly and Ryan show. So she did that, and she's like, "Oh, you guys, I have like this 7-minute version. I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna see if I can put it out." So she put it out. I think it came out this morning. But she put the video out, and the video almost has like 1 million views in like 4 or 5 days now. So I'm like, okay, that's really good. People still love, We Belong Together. It's a skip every now and then. I'm not in that skip phase. I've been listening to it when it comes on. I haven't, but normally, I skip it. Sometimes I skip Shake It Off, the singles. Um, so yeah, I hope this is the We Belong Together extend version. I love the little graphic she has. It's like a little champagne. It's not a typical champagne flute, but it's like the champagne glass with a little champagne in it, the microphone on the end, the microphone on the side, like on the stand, with this like beautiful glittery background, and then her butterfly ring that she has, which is so cute. And the butterfly ring is just sitting inside. She always gives a good visual. I really do like that visual though. It's really cute. But I'm like, I hope this extended version isn't a part of the MC30 because I really don't care. I want the stuff we have. We haven't got memoirs, and we haven't memoirs. Me, I Am Mariah. We haven't gotten there yet, and then Caution. I don't know what she would give for Caution. I don't know what she would give for Me, I Am Mariah, but I know what she can give for Memoirs. So we'll see this week what happens. It's Wednesday, so we have like another day. With Kelly's album, we'll see what MC30 gives. Okay, so I think that's all for right now. I'm gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna come back and talk about Cinderella. I love Cinderella. Okay, so I just took a peek outside, and it's snowing. Like, I think it's gotten a little bit more levels to it. I think I do want to go outside. Every time yesterday when I was looking outside, I thought about this. I've been looking at a lot of Tina Turner stuff. I think she has a HBO documentary coming out. I'm like, oh, I know Tina is retired completely, and she doesn't she doesn't want to leave her house in Zurich, and we just wish Tina all the good health and prosperity, and she already has the love, but I do wish she was. I do wish she was a part of the documentary some kind of way. She did give an update because she had a book coming out. She did give an update on her life. She was just like, "You guys stay strong, stay good." I think this was like last year. She's like, "We're gonna make it through this pandemic, etc., etc." Um, but I do wish she was a part of that. I do know she was or she's trying to get nominated or whatever. I don't really understand the process sometimes for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then also, I'm also like, does the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame even really matter? Because you can continue to try to get in for years and still not get nominated. I think they did say it was like a handful of black legends and black singers um, that they were trying to get nominated to get in or whatever it's called. But every time I look outside, I think about that beautiful picture of her with her red lipstick and her big hair and her like brown fur coat with Urin, and they're in like the snow, and it's like a really cute picture. But okay, so anyways, um, Rogers and Hammerstein, Cinderella. So a couple of weeks ago, I noticed I was like listening to the View podcast, and I think I saw like a tweet or something, and they were like, "Brandy's coming on the View," and I'm like, "Okay, do we care?" Not really, but let's see what she has. So she she came on the View and she announced that Cinderella, Rogers and Hammerstein Cinderella from 1997 came is coming to Disney Plus. I'm like, oh, okay, this is great news. I think I have seen the petition because she said there was a petition. I think I've seen the petition and a couple of like comments saying, "Let's get on Disney Plus. Let's get Cinderella on Disney Plus." Now, the thing I do love about Whoopi is I don't like using icon and legend and stuff like that sometimes, but Whoopi is a staple in the black community acting world, and she is one of the few black people that have an EGOT. That just says talent already. The EGOT is Emmy, Grammy, Tony, and Oscar. So, pretty incredible. If you just break it down that way, she's incredible. Whoopi is one of my favorite. I'm not gonna say she's a favorite actress, but she's been in some of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies is Sister Act and Sister Act 2. One of my favorite movies is Rat Race. I do like her on The View every now and then when she's awake. But the thing about Whoopi is she has this career that sort of nobody else on the View panel has. Slightly television these days, especially television. She has this career and she's able to talk to people that she's come in contact with through her career, her friends in the career, former castmates in movies throughout her career. So she's able to bring this level of, hey, come on the show because we work together. Now we can celebrate together. Now we can talk about, Rogers and hey, Brandy, come on the show. Her and Brandy did have scenes in Cinderella. So, hey, Brandy, come on The View. Let's talk about Cinderella a little bit and let's celebrate. So, that's one thing I do love about Whoopi being on The View. And people love The View. People watch The View. I think, you know, the viewership has gone up in the last couple of months. So, I love Cinderella, and I didn't know. It was like a couple of years ago. I realized, oh, I love a musical. I love musicals. I kind of grew up watching Cinderella and, Sister Act. Those are musicals. And I was like, oh, really do love musicals. Because in high school, I was involved in like musicals in the crew form. I wasn't like singing. I'm way too shy. I was way too shy to audition, even though I kind of did want to, but I wasn't sure. But I didn't. So I just joined the crew. I was the assistant stage manager. That was a lot of fun with the dated technology that we were using. I think we did Fiddle on the Roof. They sang the songs every day. The songs are really incredible in the play. Okay, so let's get back to Cinderella. So yeah, so I really love a good musical. Dreamgirls, um, Sister Act, like I said, Cinderella, really incredible. Now, the thing about this at the time, and I think this is my generation, or just me, I didn't. Okay, so there's a diverse cast. There's the Asian son, Whoopi's the black mother, um, the other dude is the white father, blah 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 blah. And I was talking about this with my cousin. She was like, I didn't kind of get the interracialness of it all. It was very confusing to me. And I'm like, oh, because to me, it was just like, it is what it was. Like, it wasn't any kind of confusion about it. I didn't think about it. I was just, loving the music, good acting and story and funny. Um, but the thing is, we had it on VHS, and I'm not sure how I got it on VHS. I tried to ask my mom, and she wasn't comprehending, so I was just like, okay, whatever. But it had a diverse cast, and I'm getting hungry. Oh my gosh. It had a diverse cast, and it just wasn't a thing for me. But now they talk about. I saw they did the promotion for it with Entertainment Weekly. They did promotion for saying it was on Disney Plus with Entertainment Weekly, and very interesting. She was just talking about how like at the time Brandy knew she didn't understand it, but she like comprehended that it was a breaking through moment, like black Disney, being the first black Disney princess. But no, she didn't get it. Like she got it, but she didn't get it. Like she gets it today, and like how she says, black women and little black girls, they would come up to her and be like, "We loved you for opening that door," or like, "We saw ourselves in you. We thought we can be pretty." We had braids too. Brandy and the braids was a moment. Brandy was a moment. Brandy, she had the dolls, she had the shows, she had the music. Brandy was the thing. Um, so yeah, and then there's Whitney, and when Whitney Houston died, I was just like, oh, that's kind of sad and shocking. But then the next day, BET played Cinderella, and I was like, oh shit, Whitney died. Because Whitney in this movie, she's just ethereal and beautiful, and her voice is just in tip top shape, and like her scenes, her acting was really good. She just like really played the fairy godmother. And the thing, like, Whitney, you kind of like, to me, she kind of comes off as like an older fairy godmother, but she was only 33 in the movie. Like, wow. But like, it really, yeah, it hit me hard when Whitney when they when they played that after she died. I was like, oh damn, my childhood is gone. And then we know Natalie Reed died in last year of, I think, colon cancer or some kind of cancer. She was the one of the stepsisters, and the other stepsister, I forget her actual name, but her name in the movie is Penelope. She was like, yeah, we became sisters. We like had such great moments on the show, on making the movie. The movie really showcased her comedy skills, and she was always like, she would bust out in like she would say something, and I would just crack up laughing, falling on the floor. I was like, oh, that's a nice memory to say, and that's why I'm saying this. This whole Disney Plus celebration of Cinderella getting on Disney Plus is very bittersweet. Oh, watching the promo, their interview that they did, it was Whoopi, the Prince. I'm forgetting his name. Paolo, Brandy, Penelope, Bernadette Peters, and the Prince is giving a ball dude. I'm forgetting his name, but the little short dude, and then the father. They all did that, and it was like, oh, this is very bittersweet. That especially Natalie, she just passed away. That Natalie's not here, and then, of course, Whitney isn't here. And they didn't talk about Whitney a lot. I was very surprised. I thought they were going to give a little bit more, like Whitney behind the scenes during that movie, but mostly all they talked about was when Brandy, the Brandy, there's this video footage of them rehearsing and singing Impossible for the movie. And I think Entertainment Weekly, yeah, it's their footage. And Brandy just talked about how like she was just so excited to be there and so happy, and Whitney was so loving and caring and nurturing and supportive about her vocals and whatever. Except for in the video, you do see Brandy singing very low, and Whitney's like, why are you down there? And then I thought about it. I'm like, why is Brandy singing way down there? Okay, whatever. So yeah, the music is really, really, really incredible. My favorite song from the movie is "There Is Music in You," which Whitney sings at the end. She just kills it, kills it. And to think Whitney hadn't had a studio album. I think this is towards the end of her sort of acting in the 90s. She hadn't sang in a studio album, like a Whitney album, in since 91, I think it was, with I'm Your Baby Tonight. And, okay, I don't know why I'm saying that, but okay, yeah. I don't know why I just said that. Okay. But yeah, but Whitney was fantastic. The music was fantastic. Um, I think my favorite parts of the movie is all of Whitney scenes with Brandy. Like the support and the confidence she gives her, and the beautiful Whitney, and the like magic little special effects that they give. And Whitney's hair was so beautiful. Her makeup was incredible. She just like really brought it. The little costume with the weird, I don't know, it's probably a term for it, but the little like collar thingy, just beautiful. It's really one of my favorite movies. I think I just had watched it last year. Because I think, was it last year? I think it was last year. I was trying to look for the music, and I noticed like it's not on streaming or like anywhere. Which I was like, oh, I really want to listen to the song, I was playing it on YouTube, and it ended up being the movie playing. It was like the audio of the movie. I was like, I don't want to listen to the movie. I want to listen to the music. But okay, whatever. So in like the music, there's "Falling in Love with Love," the one Bernadette sings, "In My Own Little Corner" with Brandy, and then the Princess Giving a Ball, and then I'm forgetting what song Whoopi sings. I'm forgetting what song Whoopi sings. And we found out like the little squeaks and stuff she was talking when Whoopi did in the movie. Those were not scripted, which is like I do love that kind of information. But the promotion for the movie. So I was like a couple days ago. I didn't know there was Rosie. Rosie had like she's popped up. I don't know if I said this, but Rosie, she had a show, back in the day, and back in the late '90s. And Rosie, her on her own channel, she's recently uploaded some video footage from that time, and but she didn't upload this footage of the promotion. So, Brandy and Bernadette and Paolo, they all went on her show to promote it. And Brandy and Paolo sang a song from the movie. Whitney was supposed to come, I think, that day, but Whitney was quote unquote sick. I was reading some comments and they were like, yeah, there was a bunch of like chatter about uh, Bobby and Whitney back in that time, so she didn't come, or she was trying to like take care of whatever, whatever. So Rosie was told Whitney wasn't coming. So Rosie was told Whitney wasn't coming. So Rosie kind of made it such like a big deal and a funny comedy kind of thing, because she was like told not to say anything. She was like, I'm not gonna not say anything, which is funny. Um, but yeah, but like the next day, I think, or a couple of days later, Whitney ended up coming on the show. But Paolo and Brandy, I don't think if I said, yeah, they did a song together. They did an interview with Brandy. There was a separate interview with Bernadette, and then there was a separate interview with Paolo. Really funny, really good interview. But I was thinking, like, oh, wow, Rosie had really some of the best performances on her show. From my favorites, like Mariah, The My All, I Still Believe. She did Petals on Rosie, which is a hidden gem from Mariah's Rainbow album. Janet did the I'm So Lonely. I Get Lonely, I'm sorry. Try not to fuck that up, because that is a mistake people do all the time. It's not I Get So Lonely, it's called I Get Lonely. It was like this, her and the piano. The piano, the background singers, and um, Jimmy not Jimmy Jam, Jim Wright. Big Jim Wright. I didn't know that was Big Jim Wright. I thought it was one of the Jimmy Jam or Terry Lewis. And then, that one is incredible. The breakdown of it all, the harmonies of it all, incredible. And then we have Whitney doing the There Is Music in You, which is, she's not her voice was probably like 90% good, but she still pushed through and she still sang the fuck out of it. Really love that song. Um, I love that version. I think that's the only version. The movie ended up getting a couple of Emmys. I mean, one Emmy. It was like one Emmy for like best something nobody really cares about. Um, where was the note on the thingamabob? I think the viewership at that time was like 60 million viewers for that, and that was the second time, because I think they said Gypsy with Bette Midler, they did like a movie musical and put it on TV with Gypsy, and that did really well. So they wanted to do another thing, and so this, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella did 60 million views, and then in 2 weeks it did 2 million sellings of the VHS, which is like, wow, 60 million views and 2 million sales, incredible, incredible. Um, So then we have, I have a little note. Bernadette Peters is ageless. She still looks amazing. You can go watch the Entertainment Weekly interview. It's on YouTube. One thing I didn't know until a couple of weeks, I think a couple of months ago, they said that they didn't have enough money. They ran out of money for the show. to film the movie, and it was like the last day. And so Whoopi, being, you know, the kind, wonderful person that she is, she like gave her per diem to pay for the extras and to pay, I think, some of the crew. Because the dude, there's a head dude in charge. He didn't want Brandy to be in. He didn't want Brandy to be the singer, the Cinderella. He wanted Jewel, the singer, the country singer with the teeth. He wanted her to be Brandy. He wanted her to be Cinderella. So he was kind of, you know, being shady, not approving checks for the last day of the last scenes. And so one of the consequences of that running out of money was they had to quickly shoot. Oh, no, I think, okay, I keep messing that up. They didn't have to quickly shoot it. They had to shoot Whitney not at the wedding scene, which doesn't look bad because, you know, I don't really understand what they mean not there, because her being there kind of would have, or maybe her being on the side, or maybe her actually being there probably would have made it a little bit more easier, I guess. But they had to shoot her in a green screen. I remember like the director or producer, he was talking about how Whitney, her lip syncing was incredible. And he was like shocked how good she lip sang. And I'm like, hey. But we all know, and then I think some of us don't know, but I think some of us do know, she lip synced her Super Bowl Star Spangled Banner performance. You know, Whitney's really incredible when you look down, deep down into it. She's very incredible, just besides, you know, her vocal ability. But yeah, they had to, her last scenes at the wedding, it was green screen because they didn't have enough money to shoot her at the wedding. But I'm like, it makes sense. It doesn't make the movie any kind of different way because, you know, the godmother, she's not actually there. She's there, she's not seen by anybody else. She's only seen by Cinderella. So they they did a good job. It doesn't look weird or it doesn't come off shady. So when I was looking for the soundtrack, I learned that the soundtrack, there is a soundtrack. There's not an official soundtrack, but there is there. I mean, the official soundtrack is not out there, but the official soundtrack isn't out there, but there is music out there. And the reason why we never got a soundtrack was because Atlantic, Brandy's label, didn't think it was going to be a good look for her to be this poppy, mainstream, light and airy singer, or her look, or whatever, dumbass excuse. So, but Clive Davis was like, this is really incredible music. You know, he 100% supported Whitney's music and was behind her music. Clive, the devil, Davis was what I've heard. So what Rob say. Rob from YouTube. Clive, he didn't want her. Clive was 100% behind it, but you know, the labels, they all have to agree or it's a no-go. So that's the reason why we didn't get a actual soundtrack. And someone said, okay, this dude Craig Davis or David, I don't know who he was. I think he might have been a producer or something, or journalist or something. But before Whitney died, he had a conversation with her, and she said that Cinderella was her favorite and her least favorite project that she worked on. Her favorite because I'm guessing, you know, it got done and they had wanted her to do it, but she, you know, she handpicked it, Brandy, and she was a part of it. She got it done, and it's beautiful, a beautiful project, 100% from top to bottom. But because of the soundtrack didn't get released, she was very saddened, and it became her least favorite project, which is very 100% understandable. So yeah, but I find those label things always confusing because even when Tony was trying to do the thing with her sisters, it was like Tony couldn't do it because she was signed to her label, but her sisters weren't really signed to her. Oh, two other sisters, wait, three other sisters weren't signed to a label. Tamar was signed to a different label, and Tony was signed to a different label. So it was like, we got to make sure, the clauses in our contract doesn't say you can only da 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 with this certain label. I don't know. I find it weird. It's very crippling at the end of the day, or you have to get their permission at the end of the day, or you just can't do it, which is kind of annoying. You're kind of putting a pause on greatness. So, yeah, that's the end of my rant celebration of Cinderella. Roger Hammerstein Cinderella. I think it's on YouTube if you don't have Disney Plus. I think that's where I watched it. But yeah, shout out to Cinderella. So, this episode on Child, I want to end it with a messy child, a crazy story. Okay, so we know about Gorilla Glue Girl, Tessica Brown. Now, Tessica has gone through a lot in the last week or two. I just saw an interview last night with her, and she was like, she's tired of. She did it. She wished she didn't post the video, but she was asking for help. Whatever. Because, so why, okay. Who is selling these photos and this information? Okay, so she said the information wasn't true about her suing Gorilla Glue. Yeah, Gorilla Glue. She said that information wasn't true. But she did say that she was trying to get help, and because she had put it on and a week later it still wouldn't come off. But I'm like, you still knew what you were doing. You knew it was Gorilla Glue. You knew it wasn't the wig glue or whatever kind of glue, the hairstyling glue that she uses. You knew it wasn't that. So you were being really stupid. She was in a rush, she said. So she just used that glue. And I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, who is selling the photos to TMZ? Because all the photos that we've seen, they have TMZ's label on it. So somebody sold the photos to TMZ. But yet you're so overwhelmed and so traumatized by this experience. And then she had set up a GoFundMe or whatever it was, and it got like, what did it get? She said her limit was, she said she wanted 1,500 for wigs and stuff. She ended up getting like 15,000, and I'm like, what? Why are you guys giving her money? First of all, why did she even set it up? Did you really set it up for wig intentions, or did you set it up for more than that? And then why are you guys giving her money in the first place? But I mean, hey, whatever. And I was not coming from a place of jealousy, or it's just coming from a place of common sense and confusion, because one of the YouTubers I watched, she was as told by Kenya, she was like, y'all need to apologize to her. Well, that was in her video. I didn't watch the whole video because I'm like, I don't really connect with this. I don't think what you're saying is 100% true. She's like, y'all need to apologize for her. It was a mistake. We've all made mistakes. No, we've all not made that kind of mistake. I like, and it's not like she put a tiny bit of glue on. She put enough glue, I'm guessing, to cover her head. And I'm like, she's not that bright. Those long fake ass eyelashes and the contacts is just like something up there isn't always working. And then they were like, people are being racist to her, calling her gorilla. And I'm like, this really isn't about race. This is about stupidity. Okay, if people are calling her gorilla, I don't know what to say about that, because low key is a part of her name now. She's like, oh, in her interview, she's like, I'm not the Gorilla Glue lady. And I'm like, okay, but you're selling merchandise with Gorilla Glue and your face on it. So what do you mean you're not the Gorilla Glue lady? I guess she needed to explain herself a little bit more because I'm just like, you're not making a whole lot of sense, Miss Tessica Brown. And again, what kind of name is Tessica? What does that even mean? Can we do better with the names that we name our children? Which she has four of, or was it five of? I think she has five children. So this is the last time we're talking about it. It's not about race. It's not about anything else but her stupid mistake. It was a mistake, okay, but it was like the dumbest mistake ever. Putting actual glue on your hair. And now you're talked about, and now you're. And I think the hype and all the talk and chatter, and she's like, people on TV are talking about me, but they don't know me. And it's like, okay, okay. You should have taken the video down. You should have ejected yourself somehow from this. But she has gotten most of the stuff out of her hair, the glue out of her hair. So that's pretty good news, I guess. Um, but I feel like the money, now we're saying, so she's not suing Gorilla Glue and she's not taking all the money. She said the headlines have been she's giving the money away to uh something that needs it. I'm forgetting. I think children in need or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, you better flip this around. You better turn this around because $15,000 and people are. I'm like, at this point, you don't really need the money because people are offering to give you money, give you help. She said, just hilarious. This weak ass comedian, which she looks like. If you look up Tessica Brown, go look up Jess Hilarious, because they look like twins. She's like, they've been talking a lot. Portia Williams has been like offering to send her hair, and I'm like, this okay. This is what happens. You know, people are gonna help you. The plastic surgeon that took the stuff out of her, the glue out of her hair, or tried to reconstruct or whatever he did it for free. So you're getting all this stuff for free. Yeah, you better flip this around because it doesn't look good if you took $15,000 and was gonna use it for wigs or whatever. And then Kenya, I was told by Kenya, she was like, she is. This is how you make. This is the blueprint of how you monetize a situation. And I'm like, no, this isn't. This isn't. You don't take a dumbass situation like this and monetize off of it. She's not a good blueprint for that. I feel like the where the money resides dude did a better blue is a better blueprint on how to monetize stuff because he actually the next day he had merchandise set up. He was in a Super Bowl commercial. He was in a Super Bowl commercial. I'm gonna go check that out and see how good that was. But he was popping for a while, and every now and then you see where the money resides. Like comment comes up. I feel like he's a better blueprint. He knew what he was doing. He was smart. He took a smart deal that he already created and elevated his self off of it. He monetized himself, elevated himself off of it. That's a good monetization blueprint. But shout out to Tessica Brown because we're just gonna pray for her. I mean, everybody's talking about her. YouTubers. I'm gonna go ask my sister. I meant to ask my sister, but I want to ask her in person. The snow has like paused all plans. I need my hair done. I needed to get food. Thank God, Walmart and central stores are open or were open. I can't imagine them being open today because it's snowing, like I said. But yes, okay. So that's the end of this week's child episode. Let me go think of a title. And hopefully we'll be up and hopefully we'll still have quote unquote power because they're supposed to take the power out at 10 o'clock, but it's like 12 o'clock now. So yeah, thank you for listening and we'll chat next week.